What is up, everybody? How you guys doing? It's another Thursday, so you know what that means. It's another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I'm your grateful host, Davin Jackson, also known as DJax Alpha. I thank you for joining. I know you guys can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I greatly appreciate that. So we got a great episode for you this week. I have a great guest. She, it was a little scramble. We had ran into some technical difficulties, but she jumped on. It was someone who I wanted to get on, and she agreed to take the bullet and jump in and join at the last second. So I'm definitely excited to have her on and share her knowledge and wisdom with you. Before we get into it, though, I have to go through the quick sponsors. So first and foremost, this show is brought to you by Udemy. Udemy is an online training platform that has over 100,000 courses where you can learn just about anything, tech, science, basket weaving, whatever. You can just, click on it, search for the course you're looking for, and I'm pretty sure they have it. So go on Udemy right now. Check it out. I believe there's a sale. If not, just give it a couple weeks, and there's always a new sale going on. So make sure you check them out. Also, this episode is sponsored by Webroot. Webroot's an award-winning antivirus and security product that protects you from all types of cyber attacks and the dangers of the internet. Obviously, we know that that's a lot. There's a lot of that going on around right now. Sorry. Prices are affordable, setup is simple as a few clicks, and the services are definitely reliable. I use it personally. Actually, everything that I use, I highly recommend. So make sure you go check that out as well. Like I said before, in previous episodes, if you just click the link below, it does help out the show. It does help, proceeds or whatever I get from those links do go back to supporting the show. We also have our weekly sponsor, which is Security Sherpa from HailBytes, which is an application security training range, and it's definitely been very helpful for me, and it's been helpful to a lot of people who I've been talking to kind of get their advice about what they think about the training product. So make sure you go check that out as well. And like I said, we'll have another break to talk about them shortly. All right, now that we got all that stuff out the way, please, like I said, I am excited to have my guest on here. She is a network engineer, and she's also a fitness trainer. So we're going to talk about getting right in our tech careers and also how we can get right in fitness, because that's definitely important right now. So please, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, please help me welcome Teneyia Wilson.
Hello.
So thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. So like I said, I give a quick rundown. So if you want to just kind of share who you are and just do your introductions, floor is yours.
I think everyone is starting to know me. I'm Teneyia. You've probably seen me around Twitter and LinkedIn a bit. Like you said, I'm a network engineer now. Maybe the last 5 years, been back full time, enjoying it. Still a fitness trainer. I do that part time. And you guys see it. I'm just having fun right now, living life and enjoying this IT thing.
Oh, that's definitely important to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the one goal. So my apologies, Teneyia. So
Yes.
want to make sure I get that right. So before we run it down, welcome everybody in the chat, my wolf pack. Thank you for joining. Like I said, you guys are, one of the main reasons why I do it. So let's see, we have Professor Black Ops. Shout out to Professor Black Ops, Cyber Insight, JB. We have Sam Beckett, my first time on. Sam, I hope you enjoy it. Please like it, subscribe, and check out the other episodes. And I'm live every Thursday. And CCIE by 30, another friend of the show, Deara. So how you says hey, thank you. And CW InfoSec Cody.
Hello.
So let me just run those
Let me
by.
open mine so I can see it.
All right. So Teneyia, why don't you go ahead and talk about how you got started in the field?
I knew I wanted to do something in tech when I was a freshman. I wasn't sure what it was, but I knew something tech and I knew what school I wanted to go to. But fast forward forever later, that never happened, and I ended up running a fitness business since 2010. And that was nice. It was really fun. I got to work my own hours. I met a lot of nice people, and I made a lot of money. But I really missed. I felt like I was missing out, not doing what I originally wanted to do.
Mm.
And 2018-ish, I decided to stop training full time and do whatever I had to do to get back in IT. It was really hard, but I did it in just 2 years, which I feel was pretty fast. But I went to school. I went to DeVry 2004, and originally I was on the web development and software development side.
Hmm.
And so I feel like I'm new to the networking part because that's what I knew back then.
You're right. Okay. So all right. So you were in fitness. I mean, you're still into fitness, but you were in
Yeah.
fitness, but you were still into tech and you wanted to just make that jump. So what was that like to just, like you said, you were doing it, you were enjoying it, you were making money off of it, which is the goal. Um,
Yeah.
so talk about what that experience is like to pretty much say, okay, you know what, I'm in a good spot, or I'm doing well in my own thing, doing my own thing, but I really have this itch and I need to go see what that's about. Talk about, any feelings that you had, nervous, were you nervous, were you scared, talk about that.
Um, it was scary, and I was really nervous when I first started downsizing my clients because um, being a trainer is already not lucrative unless you have thousands of online clients like you can now. Back then, it wasn't like that. Not many people were training online. And I wasn't training out of a gym. Well, I had my own private gym, but not in a big commercial gym where there's constant flow of people and you can always find some clients. And so I was worried because that was already not enough money. And so to stop and to study full time to start getting certs to get in IT was really scary because I have 4 kids and bills and that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
it was really scary. But I just got to a point where I love training. I love helping people. Some cases you really are changing people's lives, and it's really nice to be a part of that. Um, but it wasn't what I wanted to do forever. Like I couldn't see me be 50 still in the gym training people. I wanted to be in tech. I just wasn't sure. I knew it wasn't on the programming side, but I knew
Right.
that that was what I wanted to do. So I went to Barnes and Nobles and I bought that CCNA 200 125 cert guide, and then I've just been reading, labbing, studying every day since.
Right. So now, okay, so you said you were doing it now for about 2 years, full time, getting back
Five,
into it.
about five
Oh,
full
five,
time.
five, five.
Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, and now you jumped right in. I mean, you jumped into the CCNA. I see that
Yeah,
you're partway through your CCIE, which is really
yeah.
impressive no matter what. So, kudos to you for that. And congratulations on just even getting the process started. Like I said, I'm not on the networking side, but from my understanding, the CCIE is definitely uh no joke, and one to obtain if you really want to get there. So you definitely have it in you, so definitely kudos to you for that. But
Thanks.
now talk
Oh, you
about.
know what? I
Right.
did. I started with the Net Plus because I didn't know much about the networking side, and I felt like starting there gave me a broader overview because it was vendor neutral.
Right.
And so I did start there first just to get um, just kind of the basics of overall networking before jumping into Cisco specific.
Right.
So
And
I
that's,
did that one first.
yeah, no, that's definitely important. I mean, even no matter what you do, I think you should always get the foundation stuff in networking, whether
Yeah.
it's jumping into security or just really doing networking. So again, like I said, that's I mean, that's a shit. No, you good.
Yeah.
And I see, I see you got some switches and stuff behind you
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
part of
that.
my old lab. Oh, I can't get
So,
out of the way. Yeah.
but all right. So now, would you make? I mean, obviously, it came with challenges, changing from doing the full-time fitness and now getting into the field. What
Yes.
challenges, I guess, learning wise or career wise, have you faced in your network engineer journey, or that you're still facing right now?
The biggest challenge in the beginning was trying to change careers and not having any experience.
Mm,
Before I decided to even get on the networking side, I had nothing to show on the development side. Everyone wanted to see things I had created or done, and I had no portfolio. And that was maybe a full year of dozens and probably hundreds of applications and interviews getting nowhere because I had no experience. So that was the hardest part.
so now, did you go, like, did you get like a lot of hands-on knowledge or stuff like that? So, because I know with cybersecurity or pen testing, the interview process, you have your little introductory call, you might have another phone call, but then there's usually some type of technical interview where they either put you in front of something and tell you to, to get a shell, or they sit you in front of almost like a panel and they're just throwing a bunch of
Hmm.
questions at you. What is that like for on the networking side? What's that interview process like? Is there like a technical interview?
There's a phone screening, and then your phone interview, and then a technical interview. And
Okay,
depending on the company, it stops there or it can go 3 more rounds.
three.
Yeah, for big companies, I know Cisco's one, Spectrum's one, because I went through 4 or 5 of those interviews. Probably, I think it's more common with big companies. I'm not sure if I've only interviewed at 3, but it's multiple rounds of interviews.
Okay.
And that was where I was getting stuck in the beginning. I would do the first 2 phone interviews really well. Um, Depend on the company, that second or third one where we started talking about my experience and things I've done or changed, solutions I've created, that was where the problem was coming because I hadn't had any experience yet. And I
Right.
was really fighting for people like, I can do it, just no one was giving me the chance. Like, I can show you. So I was really detailed in my interviews. When I would answer questions,
Hmm.
I would talk about specific commands or the output and what I would look in certain outputs for so that they could know that I had a real deep understanding and I knew what I would be doing.
Right. See, that's usually what I recommend to the people that I mentor for the pen testing side. Is I usually tell them that do a write up on something,
Hmm.
whether it's a CTF or something. Um, do you think that is probably helpful? Like if you do like a write up on, like, I don't know, how you configure the switch or something like that. Do you think that could possibly be helpful?
Yes, that would be very helpful. Knowing how to configure and then troubleshoot. If you explain how to troubleshoot certain technologies, or even how to explain something difficult like spanning tree simply, that helps. I think that's what got me in finally at one of the bigger companies. I
Nice.
think the interview went well, but they were worried about my experience. And just as I thought it was about to end, I kind of changed my whole vibe. And I was still polite, but I went from sitting there quiet and polite answering the questions to being like, look, I know what you're thinking, but I know how to troubleshoot MPLS. I know how to look for this. I know how to look for that.
Yeah.
And one of the senior guys was like, okay, you do sound like you know what you're talking about. And I was like, give me a scenario. And I was like, you're just giving me trivia questions. And I was like, give me a scenario, a walkthrough, or some kind of lab, and then I can show you that I do know what I'm talking about, even though I haven't been able to do it in a corporate environment. And I think once I got more stern, they
Yeah.
were like, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like that. And, I don't want to use the word aggressive because it has negative connotations
Right,
and stuff with it. But I definitely like that assertiveness because now it's almost like you're putting them on the spot, right? Because
right.
they probably walked in, and I've been guilty of it too on some interviews where you kind of go and it's like, oh yeah, but they don't really have the technical chops. So for you to
Mhm.
kind of flip it on his head and like, no, I do know my shit. Go ahead, try me. And it's kind
Right.
of like, oh, and I
Yeah.
think I think more companies need to. I mean, they shouldn't make it 5, 6, 7 rounds of interviews. I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hate that.
But I think it's that stupid cycle of you can't get a job because you don't have the experience. But without
Mhm.
the experience, you can't get the job. Yeah,
Right.
it's like
So
you need the
annoying.
job to get the experience. And it's just it's really ridiculous. And I think that yeah, if you have the technical chops, or you can talk about what you know to the point where you're comfortable. Yeah, I think more companies should give opportunities or give chances. Now I know sometimes that's not possible because they're worried about the bottom line and who they can get on the ground.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think that that's definitely a great approach is go in there, and if you feel like if you because when you're in an interview you can feel a vibe of how it's going. and I
Right.
and I think if it's like, okay, well, if you feel like it and you think, oh well, it's not a technical thing, yeah, then start throwing more technical terms out there. You don't have to talk shop,
Mhm.
but you the name of the game is to get them, not for lack of a better term, to like you. and with,
Right.
and they're gonna like you the more you can say, yeah, you're using those terms and you're shooting them off and you're giving scenarios and you can speak to them. So like, again, kudos to you. So before we get into um, what life is like for Teneyia as a network engineer, I do have to break up break it down and do a word from our sponsor. So please sit tight and enjoy my commercial for HailBytes and Security Sherpa. What's up, everybody? It's DJax here from Alpha Cybersecurity and InfoSec Unplugged, and I'm here today to talk to you about my friends over at HailBytes. HailBytes is a cybersecurity firm that provides on-demand security, infrastructure, and awareness training to companies and businesses of all sizes. Their mission is to turn your employees into cybersecurity warriors and to protect your organizations from the most common and most damaging cyber attacks. They achieve this in many ways. Some of them are their online security training courses, phishing simulations, and their newest product, Security Sherpa. Security Sherpa is an online training environment that trains your team to build secure applications by giving them first-hand experience of real-world vulnerabilities. Not only will you learn about what makes them vulnerable, you'll also learn how to exploit them and how attack vectors work in the real world. The training modules range from beginner to seasoned professional, with modules like Capture the Flag, Open Floor, and even tournaments where teams can compete against one another. Security Sherpa can be used to assess, improve, and report on application security skills across your team without the need for long courses. Best of all, it's powered by AWS, so you can start your training for one or several team members within minutes. If you think Security Sherpa is right for your team, just click the link below in the description and you can try it free for 14 days. Just click the link and you'll get started right away. Again, this is DJax from Alpha Cybersecurity and InfoSec Unplugged, telling you to go check out HailBytes and check out their new product, Security Sherpa. Take care. All right. All right. So, like I said, please go check them out. Great training. It's a great training range. They're working really hard. They're actively working on just coming up with a great product. So, shout out to HailBytes and shout out to Security Sherpa. Like I said, I highly recommend it. I would not talk about it if I didn't, speak on it. You know, I wouldn't speak on it if I didn't know about it. So, shout out to them and please go check that out. The link is in the chat. And like I said, when you click the link, it does help out the show. So, all right, Teneyia. So before we get into the next question, again, everybody in the chat, to my pack, if you're new here, welcome to the show. This is InfoSec Unplugged. This is my show where we talk to random people in tech and cybersecurity about their experiences, their ups, their downs, their highs, their lows, and we can just talk about whatever we want to talk about because it's my show. So, like always, please, if you have anything, put it in the chat. All I ask is that you keep it clean and respectful. I will come for you. It's not, like I said, it's my show. So, before we do that, where are we? Super curly one. Listen, I read that first part of the sentence and was like, oh, here we go. It's getting spicy. But I appreciate the love. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the pack. If you've been here before, welcome back. Let's see here. CCIE by 30. She's another one that's really great at networking. She says STP is the big one. So Let's see. Professor Black Ops says, "I want all the smoke." Absolutely, yes, all the time, sir, all the time. And then Cyber Insight says, "Hey, Teneyia, what areas of networking do you enjoy the most? Like LAN, data center, security, WAN, etc. Which ones do you like?"
Um, it's kind of a tie between WAN and service provider stuff.
Hmm.
A little, I like security. I've been doing security a lot this last year. It was, I know it's important, but as far as managing it, it was maybe second to last on my list. But some of the new security tools from Cisco are really nice to play with. So it's a little bit higher on my list this year. But my favorite would be anything that has to do with the WAN would be
Okay.
my favorite.
Okay. So, all right. So now we've talked about the career progress. We talked about the career transition. We talked about
Mhm.
getting that initial job. So now, what is it like the day in the life of a network engineer?
Day in the life, busy, and it depends on where you work, what your daily's like. Right now, for the next month or so, I will still be working both of my jobs. And while I have the same title, I do two completely different things. One of them is just managing the network daily performance, any troubleshooting. It's pretty smooth right now, so it's a little quiet. Knock on wood, no troubles this weekend, but
Hmm.
um, it's just mostly daily monitoring and small changes here and there as the agencies need. At the other job, there's a lot of projects. So redesigning the WAN, refreshing a ton of devices, the fun stuff.
So hold up, wait. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. And I needed some type of alarm or something in there. That was a flex alert. So you have two jobs. So you're a network engineer two times.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Go on.
Yeah. I've actually been having a lot of fun, and it's crazy because people are like, "How do you do that? You have two jobs and they're really busy and you have four kids and you're studying." And I don't have an answer. I just That's our life. It's always been busy. It's always been hectic, and I keep a tight schedule.
Yeah, but
That's the main thing.
but I also think a part of that comes with you have to have like a passion for what you're doing. Like you have to have a passion for learning, right? Because obviously, without that, I have half of what you have in the child department, and sometimes it gets rough. Even doing whether I'm doing the show, working full time, running the business, writing the blogs. Um, it can get a lot. It can be a lot at times. So
Yeah.
speak on that. Speak on that passion and how that helps. Is that's one of the factors that drives you
Mhm.
into doing it. And again, now I'm gonna call you Teneyia two times. So so yeah, speak on the passion for a second.
It can be really hard, but I just really love what I do. So when, even on the bad days, when kids are driving me crazy and work can be a bit much, um, I literally focus on what I can control at that moment.
Mm,
I try not to get too far ahead of myself. Um, just it can get overwhelming, and I'm trying not to burn out because I know it could be a bit much. But
yes.
literally schedules on both jobs and family, open communication, letting my family know this is what this week is like. And when it comes to work tasks, prioritizing what's important first and what can wait till later in the week, later in the day. I don't know, scheduling, and that's about it. That's all I could think of. I keep a really strict schedule, and I felt like if I couldn't do it or forgot too much, I won't do it. But for right now, I'm good.
No, that's awesome. So now you're working two jobs. Like I said, you're a mom. do the fitness thing on the side. Um,
Yes.
where I mean, and you're working on again. Let's not forget that because that's important. And you're working towards your CCIE. Um,
Yes.
where do you see? Let me find the right words. Where do you want your career to progress to? So I mean, you're working towards these things. You're doing two jobs, Teneyia 2 times. You're doing you're doing the CCIE. Where do you see your career progressing? In the next few five, let's call it 5 to 7 years.
5 to 7 years. I am. I feel like I want to say I'm about to be where I wanted to be back in early 2000s. I'm kind of there already. I wanted to be a network engineer and I wanted to work for a service provider. And I'm finally there. So the next few years is just really dialing in and perfecting that, working on leadership skills for junior engineers, working on the next step after this is Eng 4, and then you can go into principal. So I
Hmm.
just plan to keep growing into the role, and literally that's it, just perfecting my skills as an engineer
Nice,
in the service provider world.
nice. So okay, so now you talk.
So
Go
in
ahead.
2 months, I will be leaving one of the jobs because I want to focus just on service provider. That was my big overall goal. Back then, it was my long term goal. That's what I wanted. So now it's just growing this role up to, I think we have principal 3 at
Hmm.
Spectrum, and just that, being the best engineer I can be.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That I mean that's not that's no little task. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, for one, like I said, you said you wanted to be at a service provider. You're at a
Mm.
service provider, right? And now you're working towards all of that. So again, yes, absolutely. Like you just,
Thank
I'm
you.
just, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just super impressed. So,
Thank you.
where can we go now? So, with that being said, now we talked about the career stuff. Now let's get to the fitness stuff. So again,
Yes.
doing some of the OSINT stuff. I mean, you're not. I mean, you're a fitness trainer and a health coach, right? I mean, well, that's what you started
Yes.
out as, and before you made the transition.
Mhm.
Um, for one, what is that? What was that like? That whole lifestyle, and and you talked about the transition, but is there anything that helped you from that experience into the tech world?
Yes, actually. That was, what was it? From 2010 to now, basically. I'm still, it was a great 10-year window. Many reasons. The normal stuff, helping people, that's always a good one. Some of these people, you really do change their lives when you teach them certain things about fitness and health that they didn't know. And helping people with diseases and all kind of health problems, that's really great. I liked having my own flexible schedule. For 2 years ish, I worked from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and that was it. And I still made like a full monthly salary. It was really nice. Um, what I learned in the fitness world that I feel helps me in the tech world was my, I don't know what it's called, the skill to actively listen and learn what's a symptom and then what's actually a problem.
Mm,
Um, Clients would come to me with certain things, and after I listened to them talk for maybe 5 minutes, I would learn that what they're going through wasn't their actual problem. It was a symptom of a bigger problem. And so I try to use that in tech. When someone calls or when I get a ticket about certain connectivity issues or certain things being down, I I work on that active listening to see if that's the actual problem or if that's a symptom to a bigger problem. I think that's the number one thing that I use from the fitness world.
and it's great that you said that because one of the conversations that I've had in previous episodes is, you can learn the tech stuff, but it's those soft skills, and those soft skills are skills that you can bring with you from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like not that I can teach anybody how to do tech, because you still have to have the the skill set and the acumen to do it. But yeah, learning how to actively listen and
Hmm.
figure out what the exact issue is. That's major in the tech world, and like I said, that's major anywhere where whether you're doing fitness or
Yeah.
customer service or whatever. Like
Yep.
active listening and
That's a good
communication
one.
skills are crucial.
It's really
So,
important.
but see, you're being modest when you say you're just a fitness trainer and a health coach. Like you competed, like you've been in competitions, right?
Yeah, that's my hobby though. That's separate from me, the trainer.
Ah, but I mean,
That's a
but
Teneyia
still,
thing. But yeah, that's a whole other level. Bodybuilding is intense.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, like I said, but you're like, oh, I'm just doing some training. No,
Yeah.
so so one of the things that I wanted to ask you, which is I think is definitely important with everybody working from home and stuff with 2020, from putting your fitness hat on,
Hmm.
what tips would you share for people who basically are like me and work from home 85 to 90% of the time, and maybe 12 to 14 hours a day, maybe even more depending on what you're doing, you're literally just sitting right here. how do
Hmm.
you how do you stay fit and healthy and keep yourself in shape when you're just basically sitting on your ass for 2/3 of the day?
Two things, because it's exactly what I try to focus on doing, and it's really, really hard because since we've been home, I feel like we worked more,
Hmm.
and I really try to focus on working during my normal working hours. If I'm
Talk
not
about
on
it.
call, then I'm not gonna work. I'm trying really hard to do that because we don't do that.
Yeah.
Even these last few months, I haven't been doing it, and so I'm getting back to that. I've been back to that in April.
Okay.
I work 9 to 5, and 5:36. I absolutely have to stop, and I'm trying not to even study so much because I am trying to get back into not quite bodybuilding shape, but at least healthy lifestyle shape. So that's first, keeping your work schedule, your work tasks, doing your normal work hours.
Hmm.
And I got rid of my gym membership. So right now I'm just using what I have, which is what's in the house. We
Right.
have a 3-story house. So I run these stairs for 40 minutes every morning. I
Okay.
run outside with the kids. Bought some home equipment from Walmart and Amazon. And so
Hmm.
some weight training in the gym. But just like, I'm not sure who knows on Twitter if you don't follow my Instagram. I used to be 200 pounds back in 2010 ish. And I lost 50 pounds back then, and I had never stepped foot in the gym. And so I'm just going back to the things I used to
Woo!
do back then. And literally, I mean, I shop at Sam's and they have 6 pound cans of green beans. And I had me and my nieces and nephews in the living room lifting those 6 pound cans of green beans because I didn't have time to drive 20 minutes to the gym. I still had to study. I was babysitting, I had the kids. And I mean, those 6 pounds is what we were about to get in the kitchen and then hit these stairs. So I literally do whatever I need to do. So that was that move, whatever you can, running your stairs, running your block, jumping jacks, anything that will get your heart rate up in the house.
Mm.
And then the second thing was diet. When you know you literally can't burn off enough calories, don't eat. Like, don't have a terrible diet. Um, you got to be mindful of what you eat and how much of it that you're eating.
Right.
That's number one. Uh, Moving to Colorado this past July, I was moving. I was living in 2 states, and at the time, I was working my Cali job and my Colorado job, and I didn't have time. I didn't have time to gym, and so I kept
Yo,
my diet super tight. And
yo,
everyone would ask
you
me like,
making me
"How do you?"
you making me tired just by like talking.
I'm so
Shit,
sorry.
girl.
And everyone would ask, like, how are you doing it? I know I won't get to the gym for 2 hours at all this week. Like, I'm looking for a house and I have the job in Cali. I'm working in Colorado. I have moving stuff to do and meetings with realtors. So I don't eat like shit. I just can't afford those extra calories right now. I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything with them. So
So you
mostly your diet, and then just move when you can. And that means sticking to your work hours so you can get in 30, 40 minutes of some kind of activity.
yeah, you have a lot of activity. Damn, like I'm about shit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to it. So, two things there. The
Yeah.
first part about the working from home. I think I think this was the okey doke that the companies played on people in 2020, right? Because a lot of people never worked from home. So I've been working from home. I started working from home around 2016, right? And I was the same way. It was like I'm working from home, and a lot of companies they don't tell you, they don't say it outright, but they kind of hint at it, like you're working from home, so you don't have you're saving a lot of time not commuting into the office or doing
Right.
this or doing that. And it's almost like they try to make you feel like, oh, I'm obligated to do it. And I try to tell people that all the time. I don't know, I'm not trying to get into your age, but uh I use the 5 heartbeats approach, right? Big Red.
Yeah.
When dude walked up on him and was like, I want to take a look at the books, and he was like, my office hours are.
Right.
The dude kept going and it escalated. Obviously, I wouldn't get to that point, but that was my
Right.
approach. Like my office hours are from 9 to 5, or
Yeah.
8 to 4, or whatever the case may be. Now, granted, there are some times where you might have to work a little bit of overtime or
Mhm.
you're on call, especially if you're getting, if you're a salaried employee. But you got to definitely stick to you definitely got to stick to that mindset that no, my job is my job and my free time is my
Right.
free time, and I put in my 8 or 9 hours or however many hours you're contracted to work. You do that
Right.
and you got to stick to it, and then after that is your free time. And
Yeah.
don't worry, and companies will definitely try you. I think that was one of the situations I ran into. They were like, well, I feel like you're just treating this like a job, and I'm like,
Right.
it is. So but yeah, I think that 2020 messed a lot of people up with working from home, and now it kind of messed up their routines because you usually have people who
Yeah.
they don't go straight home from work. They go to the gym or they go,
Right.
and then with being on lockdown and working from home, it was like, okay, I can't do any of that anymore. I'm just stuck in the house. And then the other point is, yeah, get it how you live, right? So you may not have the weights, but like you said, you got you got the cans of green beans and you got flights of stairs.
Yep.
Um, that's I think that like that's a major key. Like that's like a gem right there that you can use the things around you
Mhm.
to make it work. Um, I mean, I think the fittest I ever been was out when I was in the military, and I didn't go to the gym. I did PT. I ran my 2 miles. I did my push-ups and my sit-ups,
Yep.
and I mean, and they wouldn't let you eat like shit anyway. But that's
Right.
another story for another day. So, another aspect that I shouldn't say I've recently discovered, but that I've discovered and now I'm trying to follow is that I feel like on top of eating healthy, fitness also plays a big role in your mental health, right? I feel like
Yes.
I feel like again, with everybody being home, the pandemic, the climate of just things outside. We're not going to get into all the details because I'm having a good day today, but but the climate of everything that's going on, whether it's the pandemic or whatever, what have you out there, you know, a lot of people are just in some bad mental spaces, and
Yeah.
for me it was like I like to go to like I like to hit things, so I like to go to a boxing gym or something like that because I'm like I need to hit something for about 45,
Yeah. I was just about to say that.
and I started to notice that once I started doing that on a regular basis, it was like, all right, cool. I can deal with it a little bit more. I can tolerate it more.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is just my opinion, but you being the fitness trainer and all, speak on the importance of being healthy, or having a healthy mindset. Oh, that's the wrong question. Or we can still do it there, whatever. The healthy mindset, and fitness, and how that plays into your career and your mental well-being.
That's most important, I think, in any industry. Um, I feel like I'm working on that more this year also, or since about this time last year. Um, well, I'm always busy and I'm always working multiple jobs and the car club and bodybuilding and kids and their activities. I never felt really stressed and overwhelmed or burned out until COVID had happened.
Did you say a car club?
Yeah. When I was in Cali, I have a project car and I was in a couple of car clubs. Yeah.
Okay, I have a follow-up question, but please, I don't want to be rude. Proceed.
And so I really started working on the mental health part. I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was that COVID brought that on, a little bit of everything. Um, I feel like all the negativity in the news and feeling like you were trapped in the house, and it was probably a mix of everything. But even as busy as I was, I had never been so stressed like I was this time last year. There were a lot of family things going on at the time also. I had lost my brother. It was just a terrible
Oh,
year. So yeah, you focusing on your mental health is most important. That's why now, maybe the last 2 years, I worry about what I can control at that moment. I try not to stress out over anything I can't control and anything that's not high priority right now.
okay.
So between my scheduling and is this like, are my kids gonna die? Can we eat? Then I'm doing this now. That can wait.
Right. Well, first and foremost,
That's where I've been.
my condolences, with the loss of your family member and everything. Like I lost my younger brother, but that was back in 2012. So like, yeah, I know that that can be rough. Um,
Yeah.
but the follow up question was, I need you to stop lying to me right now, and I need you to tell me what cheat code you put in to find enough time in the damn day to have two jobs,
Mhm.
part-time fitness trainer, car club, four kids, back and forth between two states. I feel like you found like the other. I feel like you found like an extra 12 hours in the day.
I really
Either
didn't. I really wish I had. Some days are better than others, and like you guys see me on Twitter. I'm up really late, or I'm getting up really early to get everything done that I need to get done. Maybe 2013 through last year, I um I got up at 3 a.m. I try to be asleep by 10:30, and I'm trying to get back into that. COVID really changed everything. Um, Schooling from home, working from home, the schedules were terrible, but I'm slowly getting back into the starting my day at 3.
but
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 on the
from
weekends, yeah.
but 10 or 10:30 to 3, that's not a night's sleep, that's a nap.
5 hours, I shoot for like 5 hours. I'm good on 5. I can do good on like 5 and a half hours.
God bless you. I'm cranky if I don't get at least 6. Like
Yeah.
I need to get up and go hit something, like if immediately if I get up I'm like I didn't get enough sleep. Um but I think one of the
Yeah.
things that I've seen from, again, your social media, you know, obviously your schedule, you
Yes.
definitely are like, high energy and extremely motivational. Um and with 2020,
Mhm.
it's really hard to do that, right? I try to do it all the time. Like I used to have like every Wednesday was like midweek motivation and whatever. And then somewhere around last summer, I was like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and we talked about, you know, the fitness and stuff, you know, playing into the mindset. Um, but again, now, and I wrote this question earlier from what I saw, but now actually getting to speak to you and seeing everything that you're doing. And again, you're still not telling me the cheat code to the time of day. Well, I mean, minus the 5 hours.
Yeah.
Um, you know, how do you, you know, continue to stay so positive and motivate, you know, so many people, whether it's again changing their lives, you know, through the health, with the health, fitness and stuff, or just, you know, your social media presence, or, you know, just obviously just, you know, just being you and doing what you're doing. How do you keep that going?
I definitely have my bad days, but I just try to always have a positive mindset. Some of that is just because I feel like I'm so blessed and I have literally nothing to worry about. Spoiled little rich first world girl with no real problems. And so I try to keep that in perspective. But also, 2012, 13-ish, I had hit a really, really low. And I just made the decision I'm always going to consciously be positive and make myself happy and not to fall back in that dark place again.
Mm,
But I also just I literally love what I do. So the post and the motivation and the positivity, all that's just real, is just genuine. I literally love to laugh. I have fun doing it. I like working out. I love working with my cars. So everything that I'm doing, I don't have to force it, and I'm making time for it. I don't have to force it. I don't have to try hard. I just literally love doing these things. So it comes easy.
okay. Now I know they're gonna kill me in the chat if I don't ask. So what car do you like, do you have?
Um, my project car, it's a 350Z.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse the hell out of me. All right, so the chat's getting restless. Um,
Okay.
so we're gonna get to the chat. We're gonna get to the pack and the Q&A in a second, but we're gonna get to the last couple questions. I guess this is the lightning round. I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but three things. Number one, what are your goals to finish out 2021?
Um, to finish out, I'm recently switching. I switching over from enterprise to service provider. So by the end of this year, I want to finish the NP so I can start working on IE service provider,
Okay.
and
Uh,
and maybe get back on stage once or twice.
okay.
I didn't compete at all last year.
Oh, so it's probably that itch is getting to you.
Yeah, and March is the beginning of the season, and every Saturday, my Instagram timeline, I'm just banging my head like I want to get back on stage so bad.
Nice. Okay. Well, like I said, best of luck to you with that. Next question: If someone were to come to you
Mhm.
and is geared towards cybersecurity, but you're in networking, but if someone were to come to you and ask you, what? Let me actually. I'm just gonna fix this right now. So, you know, they want to get into it. They want to do what you do, and you had to give them maybe three pieces of advice. You know, what would that advice be?
Um, be persistent. And like you said, aggressive was a bad word, but I'm not sure what else to use because it wasn't until I got more aggressive that I started kicking down the doors and getting my chance. So be persistent. Continue to work hard and study hard and build your skills so you can back up what you're saying.
Yes.
But those two things would be my number one. Put in your work to build your skills, be persistent on getting where you want to be, and try really hard to ignore the imposter syndrome. I still am struggling with that, but sometimes I have to remember you guys have probably seen what happened with me at Spectrum on Twitter, but on my days where I'm feeling like everyone around me is extremely smart and I'm like, this is crazy. And you have to remember they interviewed dozens of people and they chose you and they chose you for a reason. So
Yeah,
you just have to remember that when you start feeling like I don't know if I can do this. And also, if whatever you're doing wasn't challenging you, then it's not for you. Because if you're not growing, then there's no point in doing what you're doing anyway.
absolutely. No, I, remember, remember who you are, right? Remember your wins. You deserve to be there just like everybody else.
Yep.
And I usually look at it like, if once I become the smartest person in the room, I lose interest,
Right.
right? Once I'm that person that everybody has to go to, then it's like, okay, there's clearly nothing more for me to learn hear from someone else.
Yep.
Sometimes it can backfire. It can be a bad thing, but I like to go. I like to be in a room where I'm constantly challenged. Right.
Same.
My current, what I'm doing currently. There's someone who I'm just like, oh no, this guy really knows his shit. Like he's been in on everything. He's just a walking wealth of resources
Hmm.
to learn from. um and you find those few people that you can learn from, and you you take advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah.
There's no real experience like real experience. So, you can read it, you can watch it on YouTube, you can even do some labs, but to have somebody who's a phone call or, a tap on the shoulder away, um, is definitely important. And
Yeah.
yes, yeah, the imposter syndrome is real. The imposter, like, I deal with it all the time. It all depends on how you navigate through it, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's crippling and it's like, I don't deserve to be here. But again, you have to remember who you are. And then there are times where it's like, okay, cool. I'm feeling like this right now, but I can turn that into something that's challenging. Like I
Hmm.
earlier this, I don't know, it's been a long week for me. Earlier this week, I think I talked about it where I was like, yeah, I'm having some issues with imposter syndrome, but the solution that I got from it was, all right, cool. Let's go back to the drawing board and let's just, sharpen up the skill set.
Right.
So, that's just all your perspective. Now, I know I said it was three questions, but um when you talked about the word aggressive again, and like I said, it's a great
Yeah.
word. It's a great word to use. I just think the tech bros and the outside
Yeah.
use
The
it the
stereotype.
right way.
Right.
Yeah. But in your opinion, one of the things that is a growing concern for a lot of people in the tech community is the lack of diversity, lack of
Hmm.
women, lack of people of color, just lack of. Um, with your experiences of transitioning and coming into the field and having to be quote unquote aggressive, what what do you think we can do? And I'm not just talking about the tech companies or the tech community. What can we do as people, the diverse people, to
Hmm.
bring more people into tech and cybersecurity? Tech, yeah.
Um, I feel like there's a few things. I guess what we can do is I don't want to keep saying work hard because that doesn't give steps, but we have to carve the path and bring more people with us to the top. I think we have to be willing to help people and bring people with us. I hear and I see a lot on some of the tech Twitter house. A lot of people don't like to teach,
Hmm.
and coaching is really important to me. Maybe it's the fitness background, and when I was a store manager at GNC, teaching people and bringing them up was my priority. My mindset when I was the store manager was to train my team to replace me. They had to basically that was it. And when I wasn't around, they had to know how to run the store. I mean, every inch of the store because they were there more than me. And so coaching and bringing people up has always been my thing. And I think that's what we have to do in the tech world. We
Right.
can't be gatekeepers and we need to help juniors and the next generation to do what we do and to replace us. We're not going to be here forever. We're going to move up, and someone has to be us at some point.
No, I like that mentality. Yeah, that I'm training you to replace me, and because sometimes when people think of it like that, it's like, oh, but my job's in jeopardy. No, you're training people because, like you said, we're not going to be here forever. We're gonna progress, or
Hmm.
we're gonna transition out of tech, or we just may not be here anymore. And we
Right.
definitely need to make sure that, like, my the thing I kept saying was, I got through the door, so now I'm literally trying to hold it open, whether it's with my foot or with my
Right.
hand, and the door is slowly closing, and it's getting harder to hold open because it's harder to bring people in. So that's
Yeah.
something that I think we definitely need to work on to bring more people in. And I think, to your point, yeah, that training and education is crucial. I don't know if you saw the last couple episodes, but I've been talking with a couple people from both sides, from the education, the academia side, as well as the tech side, about trying to bring bridge that gap and bring it together to help interest more people, especially younger folks.
Yeah.
Because I think that this is something that they can learn just like a trade. Well, yeah, just like a trade out of high school. They don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to go to college route. If they do, great. But if not, hey, there's this other avenue. Might be a little bit, the road might be a little rougher, but it's there. So, final question before we get to the Q&A from the pack.
Yes.
What is your why?
I kind of low key hate this question because I want to say it's something inspiring, like, oh, my kids, and I don't know, other stories that I hear. But literally, because I want to, I'm literally enjoying myself. And I get up at 3 a.m. and I go to the gym or whatever because I love training. I want to do it. I love labbing until freaking 5 o'clock in the morning or wherever, whatever Twitter says, because I'm literally having fun. I want to do it. I want to build my skills. I want to be a good engineer. Um, whatever company I'm working for, help them be the best at what we're doing.
Mm.
I really want to do it. That's my why. That's why I lab. I want to learn. I want to be the best. I want to grow my skills. I I'm sorry, I don't have a like huge
No,
inspirational
that's
why.
a
Like, that's just my why. I want to do it.
but that's a great why. Your why is because you want to, right? You
Yeah.
you want to be great at what you do. So absolutely, that's a hell of a
Yeah.
why. Like that, trust me. No, there's no reason, there's no need to feel bad. Like I usually tell people, when people are like, oh, I want to do it because the money's there. No, that's not good enough. So the
Right.
fact that you're saying, my why is because I want to be great at it, and I want to do it, and I want to be great at it. That's so. that's
That's all it is. Yeah. That's
so
that's that's my just that's 100% it.
okay. Well, Teneyia, oh shit, Teneyia, 2 times, 2 states,
Just
too
for a
many,
little bit.
too many hours in the day. No, but seriously, like I said, big fan of what you're doing. I appreciate
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you joining. Like I said, best of luck to you. Yeah, please, you know, keep going, and just make sure, if you start feeling the burnout coming, take a step back, regroup,
Mhm.
re-strategize, and come back stronger. I definitely think what you're doing in the field will is going to make a lot of people successful, for the people you work for, but also just kind of laying that groundwork to
Yeah.
seeing that it's possible. It's possible with a schedule like yours. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely possible. So, like I said, I thank you, and I appreciate you, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks for having me.
no problem. So with that, we're gonna get to the Q&A.
Oh,
So let's
yeah.
see here, because we are all right. So we asked that question. Oh, CCIE by 30 says, which CCIE are you going for?
I will be going for a service provider.
Service provider. Okay.
Yes.
So, and then Anonymous, again, I don't know if you've seen the show before, but Anonymous is our resident cloud what's the word I'm looking for? Connoisseur. But
Okay.
But Anonymous asks, scenario question for Teneyia. I live in a small log cabin in the mountains with a Soho router, and I want to block the 5G nanites in my body from communicating with Bill Gates. What do I do?
I have no idea.
this, this is why we all love Anonymous. Shout out to Anonymous. Professor Black Ops says, have you ever done security technical implementation guides or STIGs, security checks on I'm assuming he meant to say Cisco router, but he said CISO router.
I don't do almost any of the security stuff at either of my jobs, unless it's with the firewall.
Okay. So no Professor Black Ops. You're not going to be able to
No.
to, to get her into the world of STIGs.
No.
Ty says, how do you keep the fire burning when you feel it dying sometimes?
The fire dies all the time. I'm not always motivated to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, if it's to study or go do fasted cardio. But I do it because it needs to be done. If I'm prepping for a show, if I'm studying for a cert, a certain point is just finishing what I started and being dedicated. It's not, I don't think I've been highly motivated to do anything these last few years. I've just been very busy. Some days I'm tired, but it's what needs to be done. So I do it.
There you go. Mary Galloway, friend of the show, says, laugh out loud. Wow, dedicated. I'm not running anywhere.
I hate running sometimes, but I run a lot of hills because they burn a lot of calories.
See, okay. And then she also says working from home is hard. No, it definitely
It's
it can
really
be
hard.
that
I will be
that
happy when we go to the office.
yeah, it takes a certain level of discipline to kind of just stick to it.
And I feel like I'm a disciplined person. I just hate being in this house all day.
Yeah, it gets to be like that sometimes. Especially with some jobs. Like I said, like one of my jobs that I left last, it was like I hated going to work, and going to work was coming to the basement. So
Yeah.
that's how you know it's time to go, when you're working from home and you hate going to work, and it's my man cave, or the other half of my man cave.
Right.
So where are we? Cyber Insight. I saw the question. Oh, Cyber Insight asks, which pre-workout brands do you like?
Oh man. I used to manage a GNC store. I think I've tried every single product on the shelf. I love any of them. Um, I think right now my favorite is anything from the Beyond Raw.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have all the, I like fruity flavors. They have a ton of fruity flavors.
Okay. So Calvin Boyles says 9 to 5 and no 360 deals. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. CW InfoSec says working from home can definitely be lonely and take its toll on one's mental well being.
Yeah, especially when you have little kids. You need to talk to adults sometimes.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's rough when it's like I'm having like in-depth conversations with like my 13-year-old daughter, and I'm like, wait a minute, no. But but yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely can be. It's rough. It's lonely.
Mhm.
At sometimes, like I said, I think working from home, especially in the tech field, especially if you're just starting out, it's hard because there are a lot of questions that you might want to ask, and
Right.
you know you don't always it's like, oh yeah, sure, just set it up in the calendar. No, I need to know right now what's going on. So
Right. Yeah.
it does take it does take some adjusting. And then I think the other side of it for me, when I first started working from home, I had to get my family out of the idea that working from home doesn't necessarily mean that I'm home working, right?
Right.
So it was like, oh, I was getting phone calls. Oh, come with me to the store real quick. No, I'm working, but you're home,
Yeah.
and it took a while to say no. These are my hours. I'm working. I'm working just like
Yes.
anybody else. So it's an
That was a
adjustment.
big one in my house.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
adjustment for everybody because it's like, I mean, even now, sometimes, even though I've been doing it for years, it's still kind of like, oh, great, you're working from home, and it's busting. Hey, Dad, come look at this. I'm like, I'm on a call, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I've definitely dealt with that. Over summer break, the kids were just I'm like, you guys are on vacation, but I'm not. Even
yeah.
when I make signs for the door, never works. So I totally get that.
Oh no, it's like the door was locked, so I just let myself in.
Right? Yeah.
So, all right, so let's see here. Ty also asks, do you work with kettlebells? And look at WAD Ninja. Tell me
Um, I
elaborate.
do. I will work with anything I can pick up, put down, swing, put in the air. I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
I
So
use a lot of those like workout of the days and CrossFit stuff for cardio
nice.
when I
Okay.
don't feel like running a treadmill for 2 hours.
Treadmill for 2 hours. That
Eh, yeah,
God,
it
short of
depends.
breakfast.
When I'm just
So,
normal, healthy living, like 30, 40, but when I'm prepping for my shows, oh, it's hours. So that's when the CrossFit stuff comes in because I still burn a ton of calories. I don't have to do steady state forever and
well, Pixel Pat says you have an admirer. He says, "Aren't you fine?" I believe her husband also agrees with you.
ever. Thank you.
Just saying. Just saying. So Chad B. Noob, he put up a couple. Okay, no, it looks like he put up some stuff. I can't see it. Keep it techie, Josh. What's going on, sir? Says salute, and also shouted out everybody in the chat. Mary Galloway says role model. It's like they're having a conversation. Let's see. Oh yeah,
Oh,
Spider Princess
yeah.
says almost like clockwork. I see 1 a.m. laugh. Yeah, I saw that the other
Yeah.
day. I saw you were working on some stuff. It was like 11:46. I was like, go on, girl.
Yeah. On the weekends, on Friday and Saturday, I sometimes pull all-nighters because for the last few months that I've been doing 2 jobs, I don't get to lab 2, 3 hours on the weekdays anymore, so I really get it in on the weekends.
Mm. So I'm assuming the kids are of age where they're kind of they don't necessarily they can take care of themselves somewhat.
Yeah, they're older, but
Yeah.
even when they were younger, when I was getting I wanna say I was. I just let all my fitness certs expire, but even when
Mm,
I was studying for those, and they weren't younger, I still put in that same time. It's just, again, sticking with the schedule. Play with kid,
yeah.
study, feed kid, study, take kid to the park, study.
Yeah.
Kid run around the park with other little kids, study.
No, I like it, that was one of the things that I struggled with, especially during certification time. Like
Yeah,
I usually have like a whole family meeting. Like, okay, listen, dad's
yeah,
got to lock himself in, and you're not gonna, whatever. But as they got older, it was definitely harder to do that, and I wanted to kind of be present in what they were doing. So,
yeah.
you know, I'm trying to study while one's doing soccer practice. I'm trying to study while the other one's doing tennis
Mhm.
practice, and I have to make sure I make every practice because I made the other one's practice.
Right.
Uh, and on top of it, I'm taking as I'm studying and I'm watching them take practice. I'm taking notes for things that they can work on when they get home because they're like, Dad, we want you to we. That was the worst thing they could have ever done. Like, Dad, we want you to kind of push us and tell us what we need to work on. Okay, so then I
Yeah,
basically became like the second coach.
yeah,
But trying to do that and then studying, and that was one of the things that led to like I probably like my worst burnout to date was when I was studying for the OSCP, and then I wrote about it in that article. Yeah, it was like I was doing that, and then I'm like I was staying up till like 2, 3 in the morning, and then getting up at 6. I mean, it's
yeah.
probably not a big deal for you
Some
since
days it's like that. No, it's
but
still a big deal for me. No, I've been there too. And sometimes I have those meetings and then sometimes I have to involve them. When I have 2 hour cardio, we're all going on the hike, we're all running the hills, we're all running the stairs. I involve them. When I have to study, I make flashcards. They read the cards, I answer the questions. I try to involve them as much as I can. And when I don't want to waste kid and family time studying, I I have like INE, CBT nuggets, those things. And I'll listen to those while getting ready in the morning on my drive to and from work, when I'm cleaning, doing laundry, walking the treadmill. I'm watching those or reading a book. So I still try to study around my non-kid time so I don't have to study for my kid time. In between tickets at work, at lunch, so that my
which
family time can stay family time.
which then explains the all night labbing, because then
Because
that's
that's the only time I get to do it.
to do the
And
hands
that's
on.
only Friday through Saturday.
See,
So
I'm look, I'm learning.
yeah. So Friday night going to Saturday night, yeah, I'm probably sitting at this desk that whole time because it's literally the only time I get to sit here that long all week.
Nice. Okay. So Anonymous says 350C, yeah, buddy. Building
Yeah.
enterprises day by day, slaying mountain passes with sick drift by night.
Yeah.
Drive safely, everybody.
Yeah.
Calvin says, my friend told me I've been in this 20 years, feel like I forgot more than I ever knew. No, it's that's real. Like that's real, especially with tech. Tech is always evolving. So it's like you're always working on something, and then it's like, oh wait, I do remember that. Like, I don't even want to show my whiteboard, right? Calvin also says knowledge is out there. You have to apply what is known. No, it's true. You have
Yeah.
you have to attain it, and then once you get it, yeah, you have to
You have
apply
to
it.
use it.
So let's see. Michael Brown says we have to be supportive of each other and not pull each other down. Mentors are needed in this field.
Yeah.
That's the truest statement probably of the day. Like, it's
Yeah.
absolutely crucial.
In every field, because I have worked with so many trainers. Half of it I blame Instagram. The other half is just not having anyone to teach you how to properly train other people. And so,
Mm.
yeah, that's true for any field.
No, that it is, because I mean, one of the things that I think hold me back from doing more of the training stuff is I want to make sure I do it right. Right. So,
Right.
like I want to, I've been working on trying to put a course out or trying to put a guide out, but I want it structured the right way, because, I don't want it to just be something that's on social media.
Right.
Right. I could put out, I could type up 20, 30 pages or something, put it out for 19, $20 and call it a day. But what I want to have something that, for one, is evergreen, so people will always can go back and refer to it and take notes from
Mhm.
it. I want it to be impactful. I want it to be helpful for not just, the one or two people at that point in time,
Right.
something that they can refer to someone else. Or if I'm teaching a class, all right, cool, look at this and refer to this. Um, and I think one of the issues that, going back to what I was talking about with talking to, professors and people at colleges, is that, you know, they kind of look at it like, oh, well, if you're not from, academia, if you're not one of us, then
Mhm.
they look down on it. But then they're not that great at teaching cybersecurity. And then the cybersecurity side is like, well, you ain't want to help us, so kick rocks. So,
Right.
so we definitely got to try to make it where it's helpful. Professor Black Ops talks about, when he teaches his courses, he goes into like theory and talks about different scenarios and has his
Right.
students, debate that. And I think, like, that's the stuff that we need to learn. Like, that's the stuff that we can teach to any age. Like, my thing
Mhm.
is, like, I want to teach from preteen to teenagers, like middle school and up. Because if you start teaching them about the dangers of the internet from now when they get older, it's like, all right, cool. Remember those dangers I was telling you about? Now
Right.
let me teach you actually how to leverage some of those and get their interest into it. So now by the time they graduate high school and they move on to college, they're like, oh, this is the route I want to go. I already know where I want to go.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a marathon, not a sprint. But we definitely gotta figure it all out.
Yeah. Definitely.
So Michael Brown says we have to present all topics so that a person can see what draws them in. See,
Yep.
that's what I said. CW InfoSec says Teneyia makes a good point. I think I've fallen out of love with some of my hobbies, but I want to start loving those hobbies again.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
No, it
That's
especially when, yeah, especially when you're so caught up in everything else. Like I loved video games for years. I can't tell you the last time I've actually
yeah,
sat
same.
down.
I used to be married to my Xbox. I used to be in clans and we would get paid to play. And I haven't played in so long. I do. I missed out a lot my Xbox.
Yeah, no, it like that's
Yeah.
one of my personal goals is to get back to, well, obviously once things open back up, but get back to just kind of enjoying it. Like what good is what good is having a good ass job and decent pay and then making a decent
Right.
living if you're not able to enjoy it, right?
Right.
I think that that's important. Obviously there's some things that we want to take care of, but now it's like, all right, cool. I think we're in a good space. I've made some changes over the course of the last few weeks, and leaving a toxic situation, and you know turning down another thing so I can keep doing what I'm doing here. I think I'm finally in a space now where it's like, nah, I think I can, whether I'd make $1 off of it or not, I can enjoy it.
Right.
And I think I need to do that, not just for me, but for my kids. They're sponges, they see everything, right? And I don't
Yeah.
want them to just be like, man, when I don't want to grow up because, oh, well, I'm just gonna be working like mom and dad all the time,
Right.
because mom is, my wife is has her own business, so that entrepreneurial kick, that's a
Yep.
bigger grind than the 9 to 5 sometimes, and she's doing that, baking cakes, doing deliveries, competing in cake competitions, number 10 in the world in the cake masters competition. Love you, babe.
Oh,
um
neat.
but just doing that, and then they see me and I'm constantly doing this, or I'm doing my job. I want them to
Yeah.
actually be like, work hard, play hard. So
Yeah. I'm also doing the same because I feel like I'm trying to keep my kids from hating life on two different fronts. I speak to adults who grew up as military brats, and they're still complaining about stuff that happened when their parents were in 30 years ago. And so I'm working really hard to make the military life fun, adventure, maybe get them to want to travel the world instead of
mhm,
feeling like, oh, the Marine Corps, I always have to leave my friends and my family. And I'm trying to get them in a positive mindset about it. And same with how they see me work all the time. Like
yeah,
you said, work hard, play hard. Um, they've got to experience me this past weekend, get ready to buy my dream car. And so they see it now. When I budget, how I am with my money, how I nag my son about their money. I heard my kid tell his friend with attitude, he was like, ugh, I'm going to be a millionaire. My mom is still going to be bugging me about saving this stupid 20%. And I just walked away laughing because, you know.
but the key is there. He knows it. They know it,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
20%. So I'm gonna be a millionaire, but my mom wants me to save 20%. They know it.
Yeah.
That, good job.
Thank you.
Good job. Good
Yeah.
job. Like, because we definitely, that's talking to David Lee last week about finances. That's something that we definitely need to also instill in our youth, that
Yeah.
the importance of budgeting and saving the money and stuff like that. So
Yep, I started that really early. So it was really nice. They finally got to see when we were shopping for my dream car and test driving and the whole nine, that all my hard work was paying off to them. To me, it's been when I got, my dream job and the role I wanted. But to them, it was my hard work was paying off when I got the car that's been, if you can see it, sitting on my bookshelf back there forever. So I do. I also do the same with keeping them involved so they don't hate so much or dread adulting because they're like, all she do is work and study.
yeah,
When we're at the park, I see her studying and she gets to play for 30 minutes. But I have, I know I communicate too much because my kid complains about it. But as I do, I tell them all the time when and where and why. And they see it paying off. And I think that they know that it's a sacrifice and it's temporary and you get to work hard and you get to play.
yeah. One of the things that we used to do, before we moved, is I like to bring them to, like, where I used to come from, right? With my
Mhm.
old stomping grounds, and they would and just kind of see you, like, just let them process it, because sometimes like it takes that visual,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, this is why we work so hard, and
Yeah.
not that there's anything wrong from, wrong with that, but there are maybe there were certain things or certain lessons in life that I didn't think were necessary for you to learn at the age that I learned them. And I
Right.
want you to be able to enjoy certain things, or I want to be able to present certain opportunities to you that weren't presented to me. I mean, my son does competitive esports as a middle
Oh,
schooler,
yeah.
right? Like, so it's like, my thing is, I haven't been able to really enjoy it myself just yet, but I try to make sure they enjoy it. But
Right.
but they're reminded, hey, you're welcome,
Right.
right? You
I
see,
do the same thing.
you see them nights where you go to bed and say good night, and then wake up and go, okay, did you stay up all night, or are you just in the same clothes?
Right.
But like I said, make sure the kids understand it and appreciate it, and make sure they learn the lessons from it. So,
Yes.
Keep It Techie says, not sure if this was asked, but what are your thoughts on learning Linux?
Um, I used to really dread it. And then since I've been at the 911 dispatch center, we have a bunch of Linux servers, and so I had to learn it. I'm currently learning it. I I don't know. I got one of those cloud guru accounts, and I'm currently learning it on there.
Okay.
And anything that's programming type, I've been dreading. I mean, that was why I quit web development. I don't want to do it, but I know that is going to be part of network engineer future, so I am starting to learn it now.
Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah. There you go. See, you got a lot of people over here trying to convert you. So Josh talking to you about Linux, and then Professor Black Ops wants to know, have you done anything with zero trust networking?
I have not. Last 3 years, all my tasks have been straight route switch service provider stuff.
Okay. No, Professor Black Ops. See, no zero trust, and she's working on Linux.
No.
Look, I'm gonna get her to learn pen testing. How about that? Now, Anonymous says, Michael Brown, the true cloud's embracing its destiny for me to merge as one with it, increase my mental strength. Yes.
Yeah,
And Michael Brown says
do
increasing
that.
mental strength. No, that's important. Ty
Yeah.
says strict discipline. Yeah, no, it's discipline plays a major factor in no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So, and then
Yeah.
Calvin says you can get up to 1,500 tax deductions for home office. No, you can. You might.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned that this year, especially, like, oh, we work from home most of the time. Yeah, you get IRS is taking all the money from you. Learn how to take some of it back legally.
Right.
Legally, please. Don't do anything stupid and say that. Please. I ain't trying to get my name.
Legally. Yeah, that's fine.
Ty says, "Do you read tech book off? Do you read tech books often? If so, which ones?" And obviously,
Um, I cannot list which ones. I'm sorry. I have 8 playlists on O'Reilly. They have like 166 books combined. But I do read a ton of textbooks, and I have them all broken up into different playlists. I have service provider and enterprise security, and I do read when I can, but most of the time I'm listening to them because I'm always doing something else.
so, side question for me.
Yeah.
Now, what do you find the audiobooks to be helpful? Because I'm like a hands-on. I was like always hands-on. Like I had to read it, reread it, highlight it. So, someone who has to do that, how does doing audiobooks work?
I hate it. I don't like the audiobooks and I don't like the ebooks. I'm also a person who likes hardcover books. If I could, my dream house was having the library from Beauty and the Beast. I couldn't wait to build one of those in my basement.
Wow.
And that was my first project when I bought this house, was to build a library. I'm still working on that, but there's just so many books and so many different certs and so many technologies right now. O'Reilly is going to have to do. But no,
Yeah.
I hate it because I like having physical books. I like taking notes. I know people are saying, I forget which book is circling Twitter right now, but it was saying how to learn or something like that. And it was saying how taking notes was a waste of time and highlighting because you never go back and read them. I am just crazy because I actually do go back and read my notes.
I
And so
was
I
gonna
like to take
say,
notes and I like having the hard physical books. But again, it's one of those things I have to do. So O'Reilly's just gonna have to do.
no, I think whoever said that taking notes is whoever said that is like that. That's that new generation.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I write my notes down. I rewrite them.
Same.
I transcribe. I type them up, print them out. Like,
Yeah. I think you guys seen my Twitter post, that huge bookshelf behind me, that black notebook. I had posted a picture and all those little one subject notebooks. I'm starting to type those into OneNote now so that I can read them from my phone or my computer at home or work or
smart.
my Kindle. So
Yeah,
no, I prefer the hard books, physical books. But I mean, it's just necessary evil I have to do right now with the ebooks.
yeah. Do what you got to do so you can do better.
Yep. And that's a
Michaela
lot of
Harris.
books to buy. 166 or so books is that's all my salary probably. It's a lot of books. These
Yeah,
books are expensive.
yeah. No, they definitely are. So
Yeah.
Michaela Harrison says, any tips on staying motivated to lab when things get frustrating?
Um Again with the motivation word, I mean you just have to keep doing it till you learn it until it gets boring. Like I hated labbing and learning Spanish. I still kind of do, but it's just one of those necessary evils where I wasn't motivated to do it, but I had to do it until I understood it.
Okay.
So when it gets frustrating, I if I get really stuck and going back through my notes and the textbooks not helping me, that's when I hop on YouTube or CBT, INE, and I watch someone else lab it.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Take a mental break. So step away for 5-10 minutes. Because sometimes that's usually all it takes. It's just
Yeah.
taking a step back and just kind of replaying it in your head. Then you're like, oh, okay, I can see where I went wrong. Like that really helps, especially if you're staring at a terminal all day. It
Yeah.
or even when I used to try to mess around with coding, it was like, why isn't it working? Why do I keep getting these errors? And you go back and you're like, oh, I missed that colon right there, or I
Yep.
missed that one thing. So taking a step back is always the first step. And then like Teneyia said, yeah, if you're really stuck on it, Google it, look at the YouTube thing, and do a side by side.
Yep.
There, you're not gonna lose any knowledge just because you watched someone do it and get that little edge.
Right.
So Anonymous is in rare form today. Anonymous says, if she's running on a treadmill for 2 hours, and it's not unreasonable to question if Teneyia is an AI Terminator from Skynet sent to guard us on our journey to singularity. I
I
mean,
do
she's not
not
wrong.
run it for 2 hours straight. When I'm on it for 2 hours, it's a run, walk, walk, run, walk. I don't run that for 2 hours straight.
So, all right. Cyber Insight was talking to Calvin. Oh, Calvin was talking to Ty about the books. Todd Lamel books.
Oh
So
yeah.
that must be a networking.
Yeah. He has a lot of good books.
Yes. And then let's see. Techno Chatter says salute. Big, thank you. Hope you're enjoying and you subscribe. Let's see. Anonymous. Anonymous.
Skynet.
Why do we have socks when we could just plug Teneyia into the network and let her whoop our. So I think it's safe to say you are now an honorary member of the pack. So
Good.
so Calvin says, oh, they're talking about the Bibles. David Westcott by Unix sysadmin
Oh
instructor
yeah.
writes good material on Linux and wireless security. Check him out too.
Oh
So
yeah, I have to look him up for Linux stuff.
yes, Al Minigan. Shout out to Al. It's great to see this interview. Hate that I was late. Yeah, I think it was Al the one that tagged you in that LinkedIn post. I have to see.
Oh yeah, I have to go back and look.
Yeah, because like I said, I had it.
Yeah, I
I
was
had
really
it on the list.
surprised. Thank you for that.
Yes, I had. I had a whole list of names, and I had you on the list. And then I said, well, let me ask. Let me ask the people and see what they're going, what they're saying. And yeah, you came. You actually came up a couple times.
I appreciate
So,
it.
well, I mean, well, hell, you doing what you're doing. I think you you earned it.
Yeah.
Calvin says Cisco iOS commands are just like Linux. Actually, I think iOS is built on top of Linux. So fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
that's what I. Yeah.
Yep. And if you can
So
MS
far, it's
DOS,
so good though.
yeah, if you can MS DOS or iOS commands, you can do Linux or Unix commands. Yeah, it's not
Perfect.
really that. It's not that hard. Let's see. Oh, it says if not. Calvin says if not, just watch me do try hack me all day. You'll learn. I haven't done a try hack me stream in a while. I got to get back to that. So Ty says I am reading a lot of Linux books and hacking books. Just bought 2 books from Amazon a moment ago, and I have a total of 3 books this month. So
Yeah.
yep, reading is fundamental. All
Yeah.
right.
I read a ton.
So, all right. So Teneyia, any parting words while we see if any more questions come from the chat?
I just really thank everyone. I when I hopped on Twitter, I didn't even plan on using it. This was my second attempt at trying to even use the app, but the tech community has been super supportive and is a huge part of my career change because I was even scared to do it. And I had wrote a few people who had been in the industry a while, like, what should I do? And they couldn't really tell me, of course, like it's hard for me to tell people when they ask me that question, but the support has been crazy. And I really appreciate and love everyone. Thank you.
No, yeah, that's definitely. I was the same way at first. I was like, I don't. I had Twitter. I had Twitter a while ago, and I think I just started using it like the last year or two.
Yeah, same.
And everybody, even books I would read was like, get a Twitter account and network on Twitter. I'm like, why? I'll just network on.
Right.
I'll just network on LinkedIn or something, and then
Yeah.
when I stopped doing that for a while, and then maybe somewhere around 2019 or so, I was like, let me give Twitter another shot.
Oh yeah, that was the same time I did it. It's been great. I love
Yeah,
it.
no, it's super helpful. It can be toxic sometimes, but that's
Yeah.
the that's a give and take with tech Twitter. So you just
Yeah,
gotta know.
that's everything social media, but it's been really nice. I, as scared and worried as I was, I am super happy that I made the change, and I do it all over again.
That's the question is if you had to do all over again, would you?
I
So
definitely would.
okay, and for those who aren't following you, tell them how to find you.
My Twitter handle is just at Teneyia W. And if you're interested in the car stuff and fitness, I'm on Instagram, Teneyia Lifts. Those are only two things I really use. You can find me on LinkedIn sometimes. I love it there, but one post and I have 1,000 messages about about begging for all my stuff or dumps, and so I don't post on there
Yeah.
as often because literally that last post I just posted when I was labbing,
Hmm.
like 150 messages, and everybody wants dumps and my lab files or things I'm paying for $100
Yeah.
like this stuff, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't share those things, or and I try to help with any free resources, and then we just fight because they're like, you know,
Oh,
not
I got
grateful,
cussed. I
and
got
so Twitter and
cussed.
Instagram is where you'll find me.
Yeah, I got cussed out on Twitter. Not Twitter. I got cussed out on LinkedIn. I think I got cussed out on Instagram a couple times too. Um, Especially recently when I was doing the AWS stuff, and I created my own little
Um,
flow chart for how to build an AWS environment, and it was like when you're done, email it to me. Like,
yeah.
one, who are you? Why? Like, and I think I put it in there like I want to create a guide. Like I want to create a basic AWS guide. I haven't decided what I was gonna if I was gonna put it out or charge for it or if I was gonna do it for free. But it was just like when it's done, send it to me. First of all, who
Yeah.
the are you?
I get those a
Right?
lot. No, hi.
Yeah.
I'm
And
struggling. Can you help me learn this particular thing? It's just give me everything you pay for because either I don't want to
yeah,
or
like
you know.
what did I do? Link on LinkedIn, I did, was it I think I posted that I was doing the OSCP stuff, and they were like, "Oh, can you send me the copy of your book?" No. Can
Yeah.
you send me the videos? No. Well,
Yeah.
you're not a real cybersecurity professional because it's all about sharing.
Oh yeah, I get that too. And it's so annoying because I know that there's people everywhere and sometimes they can't afford these things. It took me a couple months to sign up for I to save up to get an INE subscription.
Yeah,
And that was when I was just starting and I had no money to spare on that kind of subscription. And so I was saving up for it. And so I know that there's people who can afford it. And so I try to help them with any free resources that I may have saved or seen. And they're like, no, I don't want that. And I can't help you. You save
yeah.
up like I did. I don't know what else to say.
Like, not for nothing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's all free stuff right there. When I
Right.
do my try hack me streams, or I do my how to videos, that's all free. Check out the blog. I write a whole bunch of
Right.
technical stuff on my blog on what you can do. But if I'm working extra hours on something and drawing it up and design, like, I'm not gonna give that
Yeah.
away just because you said so. So, like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are we? CW InfoSec says, "Great stream. Thank you for sharing your journey, Teneyia."
Thanks for tuning in.
Same thing with Ty. Ty says, "Thanks for your input." Ashley, friend of the show, says, "Thank you, Teneyia, making all of us proud. Keep up the good work."
Thank you.
Anonymous, how has the true crowd's embrace and plan for you impacted your? How has the true crowd's and Jeez, how has the true crowd's embrace and plan for you impacted your life?
Huh? What is True Cloud? Like, just kidding. You're naming a whole bunch of things I never touch. I may read about them see them on blogs on Twitter, and I haven't touched and looked at some of the stuff you're naming.
Oh, you will. Don't
I
worry.
will eventually.
It's the cloud.
Yeah.
Tech IT support says
Cloud and tech and like programming and I have not, you guys, I've just not. But I know that I'm going to need to eventually. I will one day.
eventually, but yeah, you got time.
Yeah.
So Kev Tech says, just ignore the haters and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I've posted about that plenty of times on Twitter. That's so important. You guys don't believe I get so many negative messages about being too busy, doing too much. I don't care. These people are not paying my bills or feeding my kids. They're not taking care of my kids. And it's not even just people on social media, it's people in real life, family, neighbors, coworkers.
But
Doesn't matter.
people people get uncomfortable when you become more than what they expect of you. And
Mhm.
I had to learn that the hard way, because it was the same thing. It was like, why are you constantly getting these certifications? Why are you constantly doing this? Or
Yeah.
okay, good, you got this job, so now you can now you don't have to do so much anymore. And it's
Yeah.
like,
I got that one too.
at what point does what I at what point does what I eat make you shit? Like,
Right.
like, seriously. And
Right.
it's like, or it's like, oh, you're dealing with certain things. It's like, that's why I tell people to always bet on yourself, because it can really get lonely when people don't understand the vision. When people don't understand,
Yeah.
especially coming from someone who's non-technical talking to someone who's technical. So
Yep.
it's like from the outside looking in. They don't necessarily know what it takes to deal to just survive in the field day in and day out, and
Mhm.
that tech is ever evolving. So even though you get, a certification today, you're gonna have to read up in a couple years because the technology
Right.
is gonna change. So yeah, don't ever let that discourage
Mm-mm.
you, because it's
Ever,
like,
ever.
I can't tell you how many family or friends that are just like, oh, either they don't understand it, or they're like, I can't get into tech. That looks like too much work, or somehow
Mhm.
I'm a bad person for working hard. But Would you say that to somebody who is going to college to become a doctor or an architect or a lawyer?
Right.
Right? It's the same grind.
Same thing.
It's the same grind, right? If a doctor gets their PhD 10 years ago, and let's say they're a surgeon and there's a new technique, do they not have to learn that
Right.
new technique?
Right.
So,
Same thing. And it's funny because all the people who complained, I don't know, early 2000s,
mhm,
either fitness or IT, they're all asking me how to become engineers. How do I get a help desk job? How do I lose this much weight? Now,
mm,
you've probably seen the memes. First, they'll criticize or whatever, complain, and then they'll ask you how.
yeah.
That's 100% true.
Or my favorite, they blame you for them being stuck in the same place and not getting
Uh,
to that end result, right?
yep.
Like I had one where it was like, oh, to think you've been doing this whole time and now you're doing so well and you never thought to help me. I'm like, dude, I literally gave you books. Like,
Right.
I did everything but take the test for you. What more do you want
Right.
from me? So yeah, that's my favorite. Or it's like, I want to do what you do now. I don't want to do the 10, 12, 15 years of grinding and whatever. I want
Yeah.
I want to get from where I'm at with no tech experience to what you're doing now and make that kind of money and that type of whatever. So
Yeah, that's annoying. It's really hard to get help people understand that. And you
right.
can't keep comparing your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20.
There you go.
Can't do that. So,
There you go.
yeah.
So, what the Piglet Nuff says, is this live or on a rerun? Nope, you are absolutely live. And I just said Piglet Nuff on a live stream. So Calvin says IT is a quest, not a mission like Zelda. Laugh out loud. No, it is. Like I said, it's a
Yeah.
marathon, not a sprint. Kev Tech
Right.
says you either grow in IT or you become outdated and obsolete. Don't ever get comfortable in IT or in a job.
Right.
Yes. Don't get comfortable or get complacent.
Mm-mm.
And we're gonna end it with this one. Ty says they don't know how to geek. There you go. All right. So Teneyia, once again, I appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing in the field. I appreciate the fact that you're doing all of it. Maybe one of these days you can give us the cheat code, but seriously, best of luck to you when you get back into competitions. Best of luck to you with the
Thank
car.
you.
Best of luck to you with the kiddos and the married life and the tech career and everything. Like just keep going, keep pushing, and the pack is always here. So anytime you got anything going on, or if you just want to come back on the show, let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All
This
right.
was
So
fun.
ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, thank you for joining another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I have been your host, DJax. This has also been my guest, Teneyia Wilson. I appreciate all of you. Again, the pack is nothing without you guys. So I appreciate the love. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, tune in next week because I will have another guest on next week. I will be announcing that later on this week. And y'all just stay safe and enjoy the rest of y'all week. So take it easy.
Bye.
Mm.